Welcome back to Jurassic June here on the Face to Ace channel. On the Ace2Face podcast, I have a very special guest today, Jurassic World. We are reviewing today, and that is when the theme park opened. So I wanted to bring on a theme park connoisseur. I think that's how I could describe you. Please welcome Julia Bahney. I do want to bring up, because we have a lot of Shock Wrestling fans watching, this is a good trivia question for Shock Wrestling. I don't even know if you know this, but if you ask me who my first co-host ever was in the history of my wrestling, it was you.
It was me. It was you, me, and Nate, and that was what started it all.
On a random December in 2017, I remember I was like, I'm just gonna stream this, and look at me now. I didn't realize that would make such an impact on my life.
It has come so far, and I've followed you, whatever has happened, I have followed you since day one and seen how much you have grown, and it is this whole massive thing, and I just love to see it, and you're doing a great job.
Thank you. And you're doing a great job yourself, getting stuff done in Orlando, and all your experience you have at theme parks. I'm always having interesting conversations with you about theme parks. I'm glad we could finally, bring it to an audience. And I couldn't think of a more perfect way with Jurassic World, where we are 4 movies in and they decide to soft reboot this franchise. This is kind of the Force Awakens before Force Awakens. We're actually 10 years around this time Jurassic World came out. I remember.
Oh, was that really the difference between 10 years?
Between for now, this month I think is the 10-year anniversary, but this came out in the summer, while Force Awakens came out that December. So
yes, I do remember that now.
Force Awakens. It's weird because we call when a soft reboot happens, we called it the Force Awakens, but this was kind of the first one. It did it first, and it was successful. It made $1 billion. I remember seeing this in high school. What are kind of your memories of this around this time? Because I know you were in high school as well.
Yeah, I do remember it coming out. I was just they're expanding they're coming out with the newer Jurassic Park stuff. But it's Jurassic World, so I was very curious of how they were going to take it from the 90s movies to the stuff nowadays, where it's more like CGI in a sense, but they still kept some of the classic puppeteering and animatronic type stuff, but they did a really good job with all those CGI dinosaurs and everything.
I did really like Jurassic Park as a kid, and I remember not really caring until I saw that first trailer, and you get that music, and I believe they used the John Hammond voiceover, and it's okay, I'm back. And I was looking back on it, I was kind of surprised at the amount of things we didn't know. We weren't familiar with Colin Trevorrow's game yet, but he did direct this movie. Michael Giacchino did the score, which we'll know now from The Batman, and before this he did The Incredibles. So on paper, it's wow, there was a lot going on here. Of course, Steven Spielberg produced it. I'm sure he was very hands-on with this movie. The Jurassic franchise
for sure
means a lot to him. But they had a bold move though, opening the park. Just from a standpoint here, if you lived in that world, say you were an adult during the Jurassic Park things, and you're very familiar with what happened. Years later, they opened Jurassic World. Do you go to that park?
I mean, I feel like they would update it more, make it more safe, because that's how the theme parks run in reality. They learn from one mistake, go to make it safer, and then boom, finish, final piece.
Yeah, that's true. I guess if it's been long enough, because, okay, so this movie comes out in 2015. I think the events of Jurassic World are 93. I mean, that's a pretty big gap.
It is, yeah. So you have time in between to be okay, this happened, but also I've given it some time. Maybe let's go try it again. And
I mean, it's not like people in our actual world never die at theme parks. We see horror stories all the time. And people spread their ashes at Haunted Mansion and Disney World. Weird stuff happens at theme parks. And
a lot of weird stuff happens at theme parks.
People have a connection to theme parks, and much like this movie, it seems, and people, even from a theatrical experience, seem to be excited to almost go on this attraction movie, because that's essentially what it is. I know that's controversial because Martin Scorsese said Marvel movies were roller coasters, but that's what they are. They're rides.
Exactly.
I don't see
you
that
have your
as a
start,
bad
you have your dumps and your not dumps. You have your hills and you have your valleys, you have your turns, you have your free fall moments, and then you have the beautiful, nice little ending.
when it comes to this movie too, in my second time watching it, maybe I have 2015 nostalgia, which is gross to say, but I found myself enjoying it and like thinking of a simpler time, I guess. And it was at a time where I was just really excited for these things, right? Because Force Awakens, is this December, and we're only a couple years from like the Halloween reboot. Like, I'm getting movies, sequels to franchises that I really like loved, and it didn't feel overbearing yet, like maybe it is, right now. We're kind of in this, I mentioned this in the last pod, we're kind of in this uncharted territory now with Jurassic World Rebirth in a couple weeks, where it's the reboot to the sequel trilogy. We already did the sequel trilogy, and now we're like, what happens next? Like, it's a little exciting to think that way, because it's like, now they could, do whatever they want. They got the nostalgia bait over with. Now, they were pretty, like, honest that, the starring roles were going to be Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. Or were you kind of hoping the original cast would show up like earlier than what they did, because they don't show up until the third movie?
I was hoping at least one of them would show up in this first movie and just kind of play some sort of character to be like, oh, like, I've been here since the beginning, and this is how we've evolved over time, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm just like, I was waiting for something, but I kind of liked that they went through like a fresh face of characters to build new storylines before they brought in the original characters, just so that way you could have like some sort of relationship with the newer characters, and then be like, oh my gosh, that character from the first movie is bonding with the character from the newer movies. This is a great relationship. Something along that sorts.
And they kind of do the same beats of the movie, but they kind of don't. Like, they do kind of go in their own. This movie's more original than what I remember. I think the park being open helps that a lot.
It does, honestly, because as I was watching it, I was like, it's different because it kind of evolves around, the two kids, they're going on vacation to see their aunt who runs the whole Jurassic World, and you're kind of following their story for like a good portion, but then you're like, oh, everything's happening back on the island with the other two main characters.
I don't know if you could hear me. I think you froze. Oh, I think you're back. I lost you.
Am I back?
Yeah. Last thing I heard was that we were kind of following the kids in this one more than the first movie.
Yeah, so you're kind of following the kids, but then you're also kind of following what's happening back on the mainland between the adult characters, but you have two separate things that are happening all at once, but then it's like a whole new story that's kind of like comforting. You're like, I've seen this before, but it's a completely new storyline, which is, it's refreshing. It's not the same thing that we constantly see over and over and over again in movies.
Nick Alexander always says this when we're talking about like script writing, fresh but familiar, he always likes to say. And yeah, and that's essentially what this movie is, where it is a fresh take, but it's that familiarity. It's what you want from a Jurassic movie. Yeah, and you're right, we kind of follow the two kids in the beginning. Is the younger kid the Insidious kid?
You know what? Okay, so
he's also the Iron Man 3 kid, I think. I
think he is I have to go back and look, but I haven't seen Insidious. I personally don't do scary movies. I feel like they're getting too realistic nowadays, and I'm like, nope, I'm good. But I feel like I would have to go back and see if that's actually him, because if that kid's talented. I mean, I can already tell from this movie, talented.
Let me do some half-ass research. Yeah, because I'm like 90% sure that is the Insidious kid, or I could be completely off. Because the other guy, I've seen that older kid and stuff. I think he was in an episode of Boardwalk Empire.
Oh, okay.
So he's had a little career too. God, I forgot. He's like, 25 now. Okay, I found him. It is the Insidious kid. He's in a lot of the Insidious movies. Iron Man 3 and this movie. What a filmography.
Whoa!
And he had that one cameo in Avengers Endgame, so he got that Endgame credit too.
That's right.
That's what a filmography, and the guy's only like 20. Like, that's insane.
He's only 23.
That's
crazy.
I just saw him in the latest Insidious movie. They brought back that cast, and he had a really good performance. I wasn't a huge fan of the movie itself, but he came back, and I wouldn't mind seeing him in future films. Yeah, we kind of follow them. The mother does a crazy joke at the airport when she says, "Don't get eaten."
Oh, yeah.
And a crazy thing to say to your sons while getting divorced. Like, your sons, like, basically know you're leaving their dad, and you make a joke that they're gonna die this weekend in, like, Costa Rica.
Yep.
Like,
might as well just make it easier.
there's some bad parents in this franchise. This might be one of them. Her sister has not seen them in 7 years. You ship them off to an island. You know your sister's a workaholic. Like, are you that like surprised? And she like crashes out on the phone to her sister later on in the movie, and I'm supposed to feel bad? Like, no, I don't. Like,
no.
Like, just send your kids to Disney World for the weekend. Why did you do all this?
No, my budget's too high to send them to Disney World. Disney World's too expensive. We're gonna send them to a dinosaur island.
You're telling me Claire has no connections? She could send those kids anywhere. She's probably got the same paycheck. She's literally second in command to the owner of Jurassic Park. You're telling me this guy has no other connections where you could send those kids?
Nah.
It's insane parroting. But they go to the island and the score plays and you see everything from a now before everything goes crazy. From a theme park standpoint, which one of these attractions would you want to go to?
But definitely what's the big dinosaur in the water that like eats you know the one I'm talking about?
I don't know the name of the dinosaur, but that was kind of one of the iconic images, was that dinosaur, that fish dinosaur.
That's cool, because it's like your Shamu whale doing the splashing and thing, but then it like drops down and then you can see it in the water. I'm like, that would be really cool.
That would be cool. I think I would go in the orb ball thing. The fact that you have like free reign with it, like
that is cool.
Aside from the Jimmy Fallon telling the safety things, I think I would enjoy it.
Yeah, I have my no offense, Jimmy Fallon. Again, I don't speak for the. I should have said this at the beginning. I don't speak for the brand or the company of Universal. Just saying. But Jimmy Fallon, love you on my heart. That was like a, hey, we have extra money. Let's get Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah.
That's my hot take.
And I think the Jimmy Fallon ride at Universal was coming out around the time. I think we're only like a year.
You know what?
From
it was.
Yeah, so he definitely had a lot of connections with like theme park stuff at the time. And
yeah.
I'm sure it aged well because it is like a Universal movie, at least, for them, like marketability standpoint. But essentially we saw other stuff, like essentially like a petting zoo for some, and the what were some of the other attractions at that park?
It was like the baby dinosaurs, kind of how they do like the pony rides.
Oh yes.
I do that one in a heartbeat. And they're just so cute. They're so small. What else was there? There was
practical too, from like a set standpoint. Like that definitely helps when your extras can actually like interact with something.
Exactly, because I was looking like dead hard, because there was like one kid at the petting zoo. He was just hugging one of the dinosaurs, and I was looking like very closely trying to find, and it was like it was a smooth like editing job. If they did CGI, if it was practical, like puppeteering wise, done perfectly. What other attractions were there? I feel the T-Rex exhibit.
Yes, that's true. That one would be a little scary, but I guess if nobody else has died from it yet.
I feel like, jump cutting to the end, spoiler alerts, jump cutting to the end when she releases, I feel like that's in a cage to the point where it's like display, and you can like kind of how you have like a zoo, and like you can see the tigers and they're like up in the far distance. I feel like that's what that is. It's
weird because I actually have an exact compared to this, where even when I'm in the park, even if it's years later, I feel like I'd still bringing up the events of Jurassic Park and that people died, right? Because I remember I went to SeaWorld like the week the Blackfish thing happened, where the person died. So that's just on everyone's mind. I was also in Disney World when the alligator thing happened, where the kid
at the resort. Mm-hmm.
I guess I just bring bad juju to theme parks, my bad, but it was weird. Like there's an eerie feeling type, and even though it's years later after the events of Jurassic Park, I feel like you would still get that heavy feeling like this dinosaur chopped a guy's head off while he was sitting on the toilet.
Yeah, that's engraved in the back of my head. I see it every time I go to the bathroom in Jurassic Park. Oh, am I gonna get eaten by a dinosaur today?
Is a T-Rex about to open my door?
I gotta hold on for dear life.
So we're introduced to Bryce Dallas Howard's character, and I guess people are just sick of dinosaurs. They need to create a new dinosaur, and with the help of Dr. Wu, which we see in the original movie, he's one of the people that create these dinosaurs. They have the Adonis Rex in mind. The owner of Jurassic World, who took it over from John Hammond, now rides helicopters or flies helicopters. That's like his one trait. in this movie. You just got to know he flies helicopters. He wants the advice from Owen Grady, who is Chris Pratt's character. Now, Chris Pratt is on fire at this point. Guardians is a year before this. He's rumored to play, Indiana Jones, Han Solo, and now he gets this other big franchise. Are you a Chris Brown? Chris Brown? Not Chris Brown.
Yes, I'm a Chris Pratt fan.
Yeah.
Ever since I saw him in Guardians is one of my favorite Marvel movies besides Thor, but like original, like a new coming of like superheroes in a sense. Guardians is my favorite. And that Guardians and Jurassic World definitely launched his career because now he's like almost in every single movie that you see nowadays.
Chris Pratt at that time was kind of like what Pedro Pascal is right now, where he was just the hot actor at the time. Like, people were just fan casting that guy in everything. Like, I wouldn't say the Chris Pratt stuff has slowed down, but when you do that much work for the past 10 years, it's going to happen to Pedro. It's going to happen to all these. I think Hollywood was desperately looking for that leading person again. And Chris Pratt was just right place, right time. He had that humor from Parks and Rec. He got jacked for Guardians, so he was already in movie star shape. Like, the guy was just ready for a role like this. And honestly, I liked him in the role. I didn't remember much about Owen Grady. I keep wanting to say Owen Gravy. But him and Bryce
it's actually Young Gravy's dad.
Him and Bryce Dallas Howard actually have really good chemistry in this movie. I didn't remember how good they actually were. They're actually funny together.
No, they did really well. I mean, Chris Pratt, holy cow, the amount of times that we mess up his name in this episode is going to be hilarious. I can't even talk. Wow. But he plays it so well, and then also it relays back into one of the rides that we have at Universal where it's the whole pre-show area, and he does a phenomenal job. And it's just the character he plays with those velociraptors. He's like, yeah, I'm part of the park, but like I also kind of run it because you have me in charge of all these dinosaurs.
Yeah, and we see he has a connection to raptors. We see his friend Barry too, where they're kind of the raptor keepers, and he specifically has this connection to Blue, which would become, a bigger foundation for this relationship throughout the trilogy. Love the names. I think Delta's there as well. Really cool names. And then we're introduced to one of my favorite characters in this franchise. I love Vincent D'Onofrio's character in this, where he is just this military-obsessed dude, just obsessed with wanting to put raptors in, like, the Middle East, and I find that so funny.
I literally put down in one of my notes, hold on, where is it? Oh, yeah, I was like, something happens later, but I was like, so is the man that is trying to get Owen to get the velociraptors to go into the military force. And I was like, dang, you're obsessed, man.
It's crazy, and I love the line where he's trying to say that these animals are extinct, they don't have rights, and Chris Pratt is like, well, they're not extinct anymore. Like, it's an argument with animal rights we still have to this day. They kind of do tackle more heavy themes that I really enjoyed in the first Jurassic Park, that it kind of brings it back a little bit here. It's dubbed down a little bit. It's not as heavy as Jurassic Park, and I mean, you don't have Spielberg at the helm. It's a little different, but I think Colin Trevorrow does a good job of what he has, and that whole thing was interesting. I forgot that Vincent D'Onofrio was just this really fun scumbag to watch. Like, it's so funny.
Character so much. Like, going throughout the movie, I was like, why are you doing this? But this is what your character is.
And he gets rejected, and he just sticks around. Like, of course, I don't have experience in this, but I'm sure he's like a guy at the bar who just won't leave you alone. Like, you already rejected him, and he just keeps coming back. And he's like, let me buy you a drink. No, well, I have this idea. No.
Correct.
He just had that vibe. Like, he's the guy at the bar going, I like your vibe, but you don't. Oh, I think you froze again. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm doing, Read it,
I forgot Discord does that.
So that's why.
But yeah, we're introduced to Vincent D'Onofrio's character. Owen Grady goes sees the Indominus Rex, and it's big brain. This Indominus Rex got a big brain, and he was able to escape or fake to make it look like it escaped. They made him invisible, where it could be like a lizard and blend in, I believe is what they were going for. Now,
yes.
At the end of, I know it's a living thing, but at the end of the day, it is a theme park attraction. Why was any of these attributes necessary? You are custom making a dinosaur that is supposed to be safe for a theme park, and you make it one of the most easy dinosaurs to lose, to run away. It's like dangerous. I don't get it.
Every attraction has some sort of story, like, hey, this is what's happening. Hey, there might be sometimes a bad guy that you have to go catch. Not a massive dinosaur that you've created in a lab that's gonna eat and escape and blend into the background. I say nay.
It feels like they missed their total mark on their demographic too, because we see it's like a family type theme park. It reminds me of when Disney did that whole alien escape ride and families hated it because of how terrifying it was.
I was 5 years old when I did it. That was my first trip to Disneyland or Disney World. And it was a Stitch overlay at the time, but I remember full on crying in that ride because I have trauma. And I mean, it's still sitting there to this day. And there are a couple of times where I would pick up for, when I used to work at Disney and I would help out with the trick-or-treating that would happen for the holiday season. That's where we would meet at. It was in those little areas. And I'm just like, it's still there. It's still scary. Holy cow.
Yeah, so safe to say you at 5 years old would not have enjoyed the Indominus Rex.
Not at all. Not at all. I don't even think that at one point they describe it in the movie. Adults are going to have nightmares about this. The fact that you're like, okay, this happened in Jurassic Park, but we're going to bring more teeth as they are, constantly going on about in the movie. It's just, we need something with more teeth. That thing's scary as crap.
Yeah. It seems unnecessary to me. Like, she tries to explain people are bored of dinosaurs. Would you ever be bored of a dinosaur? I mean, we have people, especially, you love theme parks, right? You enjoy going on those rides again and finding something new every time. So would people actually get sick of this? I
don't think they would. I mean, if they had some sort of annual pass thing, you would have people going every single day just to see the dinosaurs. And of course you have kids who love dinosaurs constantly, so nobody would get sick of dinosaurs.
You're also on a tropical island. Those never go out of style. Everyone wants to go on those, and I'm sure they got resorts on the island. If I went to Jurassic World, 80% of my time, if they had a really good bar and restaurant, I'm probably at the resort. Literally. Like
a Trader Sam's type vibe.
Of course, you know me. I'm not a big thrill ride person. I go to theme parks, for the theming and the food. So if I could get all that, outside the park, then I'm set. I'm a happy camper.
Exactly.
And I'm sure, and I know I'm not the only one. So you got to pertain to those people too.
No, for sure. Because you definitely have to have the people who are more of hey, I like to do all these roller coasters. I like to, be tossed in the air 500 feet in the air and then come back down on a safe landing pad. But then you have people that are I want a drink and to people watch. So you got to tailor to both of those people.
On a little side tangent here, I described my when it comes to me me and my drinking, I had my Michael Jordan last dance a year ago, I like to call it, where I accomplished drinking around the world at Epcot, and that felt like my last stand. I don't think I could ever do that again. I did it at 24 years old in my prime, and I had to hang it up after that. You got to go out on top.
I mean, yeah. I've attempted it a few times, but with how hot it is down here too, it is so impossible to drink during the day,
we did
and
it
especially
the
with
evening, and that helped.
Yeah, if you do it more in the evening, and it's also if you're splitting a drink. Personally, again, side tangent. If you're gonna drink around the world, split a drink between a whole bunch of people. One, it saves money.
Don't do what I did.
You buy a drink every.
I did it.
My.
So let me quick explain my experience. I remember I did Mexico. I started at Mexico because I know that's the rule. I started with tequila. I just kicked it off with a margarita. And I remember Mexico. I remember ordering there. I remember going to, I believe it was Norway, and being really disappointed by my drink. I didn't like my drink at Norway. And then I remember, is it Africa? That little middle section?
Yeah, so it's Mexico, Norway, China, and then it's supposed to be Africa, but it's just the refreshment post or whatever.
I know I drank at China, zero memory there. The bits and pieces. I remember stopping at Italy. And then beyond that, the last thing I remember is sitting on the ground, eating a steak from Canada that, Grace must have gave me my sister. And then I remember getting into an Uber, don't know how I got there, and I literally like put my head down, put my hat over my face, so I just kept like, I mentally like locked in. I was like, you're not in a moving car right now. We're just sitting. And it worked. I came home, and according to Grace, I threw all my stuff on the ground, passed out on my bed, like stomach flat, didn't move for like 8 hours, woke up, did not get sick or anything.
Wow.
Grace's boyfriend puked his brains out, I guess, all night. But I just clocked out, and I woke, don't get me wrong, hungover as hell. But I was good. Like, that was my last dance. Like, I can never do that again. That is not a PSA to try that.
No, it is a do it once and then never do it again.
Yeah, like, I was a dumb guy. Share your drinks. Drink responsibly, please.
I don't know, we just got off of a tangent being like, resort drinks, dinosaurs drinking around the world.
Well, we do, and perfect segue. We talked about the Jimmy Fallon cameo. We both realized we saw Jimmy Buffett walking around the park, running around with margaritas.
As he is, famously, rest in peace, Jimmy Buffett.
Yes. He's
drinking those margaritas, living his time in Margaritaville, which is not Could you imagine if they had a Margaritaville on Jurassic World Island?
That's so. When I saw Jimmy Buffett, I'm like, oh, are they gonna pan out and are we gonna see a Margaritaville? But they don't. Like, I thought
that would have been a perfect like product placement. Just do it. You're already paying for the other product placements. Just put Margaritaville in.
In that same era, Superman did a fight in an IHOP. I wouldn't have been surprised if I saw a Margaritaville in Jurassic World.
Bro.
It was that era, in Power Rangers, Elizabeth Banks eats Krispy Kreme in the middle of her battle. Like, it was just that era of product placement.
Love.
Yeah, we do love that, actually. But yes, the Indominus Rex escapes, havoc happens. Bryce Dallas Howard's character handled this so poorly. You would think that they would be way more prepared for something like this to happen after the events of 3 movies now.
You would think, be like, oh, dinosaurs out, let's make some sort of
There's no evacuation like thing, no like lifeboats to get people off the island like immediately. Like, to me, that would be the biggest thing, because 90% of these dinosaurs can't go in water. So my strategy would be is get the guest on water. Like, just always have boats or ships on deck just for escape pods only. Like, think of it as like a ship. Like, you need escape pods. It's insane that they just out in the open, people are getting hit by pterodactyls, like no game plan whatsoever. It was great.
Jimmy Buffett's running away with his 2 margaritas.
Yes, and throughout the film, they have this babysitter watching the 2 boys. Did Colin Trevorrow, did he have a bad, breakup with, this babysitter or something? Like, her death is so gruesome.
I mean, she's barely doing her job anyway. She's more worried about this bachelorette party or whatever's happening over the phone, and then she gets eaten, and I go, silent claps.
That's true. Yeah, obviously, whatever her job was, I don't even know what it was. It definitely, her original job she applied for, I guess, wasn't watching 2 degenerate boys who are in this orb, right? And they're going down, and they see, the fence, and it's like, oh, let's go down there. Even at high school age. Who would do that? It's a fence that was destroyed, obviously, by if it could destroy a fence, it could destroy me. Like, that should have been the thought process.
Yes. Well, you have to talk about in this day and age too.
Everything for the TikTok. I guess at the time for the Vine.
For the TikTok. No, you just gotta go down, a weird opening in the fence and be like, oh, this would be good for views. Oh, I don't care. I'm this 15-year-old who doesn't care. Dude. Come on.
And I'm sure you see it all the time of influencers trying to, hop over fences at Disney World, being like, I found this secret place of the old hotel here in Disney World. Or they're trying to go to Paradise Island.
All I'm going to say is do not go in restricted areas. Do not go in cast member or team member areas. I'm looking straight at the camera for this because just don't do it. Don't do it, because you can get bans. You can get whatever you want. Don't do it. Not for the views. Don't do it.
My father, this is going back 15 years ago, we were kids, and it was, remember where Toon Town was? And it had that big tent where there was always a character.
Yes. And
I think Grace was getting photos with Tinkerbell or something. And we were trying to leave. The exit I don't know. We ended up in this hallway, and my dad actually opened the door, and it's all the Disney princesses. And they're just like, oh. And
That's great. I mean, mistakes like that happen because, again, there's so many doors and people can the directional state in which people don't have. Like, I'll tell you directions like, yeah, hit straight down this way and then make a left, backwards and then a right and then a loop-de-loop around. Ooh, why? But if it's a mistake, that's different.
Yeah, no, it was a total mistake. Like, I can see why that venue isn't there anymore. It wasn't really built for, all those people. It was built at a different time. But, yeah, because I think, like, fireworks were going off or something, so there was nobody in there. And we were trying to get, photos for Grace, who was very young at the time. Yeah, we just couldn't find our way out. I don't know what happened.
Love.
If you did that in Jurassic World, you're getting eaten.
Oh, yeah, for sure. If you do that, dinosaur right there, chomp, you're gone.
And we see, Owen Grady and Bryce Dallas Howard the whole time are trying to find the sons. They eventually do. The sons find an old Jurassic Park Jeep. Listen, as a proud Jeep owner, I always praise the Jurassic Park Jeeps, but also as a proud Jeep owner, I know that shit's not starting.
Hell no.
That is like a 25-year-old Jeep that is not started in that time span.
Well, the thing is, when they walk into that whole area, like as soon as you see like the research center thing, I'm like, oh my God, it's nostalgia because you're going back in, you're seeing what the ending was. And then you see the banners, you see the walls, you see everything that was there. And then the Jeep comes around and you're just like, oh, great. Beautiful. But no, it would have not started. I don't know how they got that started.
Insane. Owen and Claire does find the kids. We go back to Vincent D'Onofrio's character, who pretty much forces, Owen Grady to be like, hey, we militarized this Raptors. You're either with us or against us. We're going to try to take down this Adonomus Rex. Stupid plan. Like, I'm no paleontologist. But a group of little raptors, no matter how smart they are, I don't think is taking down a genetically modified T-Rex.
The fact that it was also able to take out its tracking device.
Yes.
And it knew where it was.
Would a raptor even be smart enough to do that? Like, I guess not, because they put tracking things on their heads.
They did, but they realized where it was in a sense, like while they were putting it on. But I think if you were to put some sort of tracking thing in whatever, I don't think they would know exactly where it was, especially at a young age. But you've built this dinosaur with 1,000 different other dinosaurs. It's gonna be smart as heck.
Yeah. And, the Adonomus Rex is just trying to figure out where it is in life. It at first eats people, but then just starts killing for sport. It's a dinosaur with an identity crisis. It has no idea where it fits in nature. It's essentially Frankenstein's monster.
Yes.
It's essentially what they did here with this Adonomus Rex. That is a cool take. I'm fine with the Adonomus Rex. I think they wanted to try something different, but there's so many real dinosaurs that existed that we haven't seen on screen yet. I think I would have preferred that over something genetically modified. And they do, by the time we get to Dominion, they do that. And we see like the largest carnivore in Jurassic era history or something. Yeah. So they go away from this Adonomus thing. For Jurassic World Rebirth though, fingers crossed, I want that human dinosaur hybrid. I'm waiting.
Bro, I'm so excited for this new movie. Like, I think it was me and a couple of other team members. We saw that it came out. We watched the trailer. It was a little bit of mixed things. We're like, whoa, this is so cool. But also, whoa, like, what's going on? Like, we don't know what's happening.
I have no idea where the state of the universe is, because I think they're having a time jump too. It's interesting.
I'm very curious to see how it's going to go.
Yeah.
With this new movie and where they're going to take it.
Definitely.
Because we got Scarlett Johansson in this, and I'm so ready for it.
I think I said this in one of the pods. She looks hot as hell in that movie. Like,
facts.
I was like, all right, Scarlett Johansson's back. I'm ready for it. Yeah, this Adonomus Rex, they can't take it down, and they do the most, Star Wars thing. Here's your Millennium Falcon moment. The OG T-Rex from Jurassic Park fights the Adonomus Rex and essentially saves the day again, just like the original. I remember seeing this in the theater and it being really cool.
Okay.
Just seeing like the T-Rex again. Of course, it doesn't have that same feeling at home because it's coming. It's still cool. It's a cool way to end your movie, especially in this soft reboot type movie.
Yes, I definitely enjoyed the fight between the T-Rex and the bigger. You've said it so many times. I can't say the word of it.
Rex.
Yeah, that one. The fight between it is so good.
Yeah.
Like for them having to restart everything or not restart everything, but like reboot the series in a sense. It's just that classic dinosaur on dinosaur fight that you really need.
Yeah, and that's essentially Jurassic World, and it kicked off, a new franchise for them, which did tie into theme park attractions. So I kind of wanted to give your takes on the theme park rides. Let's start with the original, the first Jurassic Park ride in Universal. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so let me pull up my little notes real quick to make sure I got everything right. So technically, the first Jurassic World ride that is there is the Jurassic Park River Adventure, which opened up in 1999.
Okay.
It has a 30. Yes. So it is. It has a T-Rex at the drop, which is 36 feet tall. The final drop is 85 feet tall at a 55-degree angle.
Ooh. Yeah, that ride ain't for me.
I recommend because you flow through Jurassic Park, so you see all the dinosaurs. It takes you on the classic thing, and then blown off track because a dinosaur in the water just went pew, and then shifted your vehicle into the raptor exhibit, and then you're going uphill all of a sudden, and the raptors are loose, and then all of a sudden you take a plunge, and the T-Rex is there, and you can get drenched or you cannot get drenched. But that has been there since Islands of Adventure opened. That is one of the main opening.
OG one of like the big. Oh no, ET's still there.
ET is still there. The day that goes away, we're done.
The ET, and I'm sure you've heard me and Nate talk about it. It's the greatest dark ride in the history of dark rides. If they ever close it, I will have a canary.
No, it is. It's the classics. It's those rides that have been there since the beginning. And those nostalgic rides are what you're always going to want to go back to. And I love when guests will come up to me and be like, oh, do you know where ET is at? Because I'm like, oh my God, you guys are actually going to ET. And it's the best.
For anybody going to Universal this summer, support ET ride. Get those queues packed. We don't want to lose it. Spielberg says he will cut ties with Universal if that ride closes. So at least until the day Spielberg dies, I'm hopeful that ride is staying.
Yes. But in all honesty, that ride, it's...
A few moments later.
Yes.
They also have... I swear I have it on here somewhere. I started screenshotting so many different things. They have the Paradon Flyers, so you have to have a kid to go on this. They just reopened it, actually. It has to be a certain weight to even it out, because they have a seat for little kids. The kids can't even go past a certain height or weight. So if they're like 12, depending on how tall they are, they can't go on it. And I think it's just the way that like it's done, because it's hanging from the land, and it goes kind of through all of Jurassic Park and a little bit into Kong, but Kong's its own different beast or whatever. They also have the little bone dig area, kind of how they had one in Disney where you can go and you can go through like a jungle gym type thing, and then you can discover dinosaur bones. They just have those things. But Jurassic Park, with the whole area, it's super small, but it's also really big at the same time.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And then they also have kind of like their dinosaur like research area, so you can go and like see how like Jurassic Park and Jurassic World would have had their exhibits where you could see the different dinosaurs, learn about them, see how they would have done in like our type of world. So they have the things to engage you like in Jurassic World, and how they would have had like the interactive type things.
Do they have the where you essentially pet like a puppeteer of the dinosaur?
Yes. So they have, it's like a Velociraptor meet and greet. So it's, spoiler alert.
Hopefully if they had that in the actual movie.
Right? Oh, they could have done it. They could have. But it was, it's a secluded little area, but you can go and it's a person in a Velociraptor. But you get to meet a Velociraptor, and they come out, you can pet it and do all that type of stuff. You can get pictures with it. That's probably one of the more popular meet and greets in that area.
That's cool. It is amazing in just 10 years how fast they incorporated the Jurassic World stuff. Like they did already. Like they were. Now people get confused all the time because it happens a lot.
Universal Florida, and then there's Universal Hollywood. Hollywood has redone their Jurassic Park area to Jurassic World. So it is strictly World in Hollywood, and then Jurassic Park is still over in Florida.
Okay, because I remember seeing like stuff for the river journey, and I thought they also changed it in Florida, but they didn't.
No, they kept that
Which is cool.
Same exact thing.
It's kind of like the Tower of Terror issue we have in Disney now, where you have the Guardians one and you still have the Twilight Zone one down in Florida.
Yes. But I mean, it's nice because then if you do venture out to the other theme parks across the country, you have different things, and it's not the same exact theming. It's probably the same ride structure, but it's a different theme.
It's interesting. That was good insight. I learned a lot there. I was just kind of listening, like I felt like I was watching Defunctland.
Woohoo! You're welcome.
When's the Julia Bahney theme park channel? Come on.
Woohoo!
But I think it's a good time to go into the Ace Awards, everybody's favorite section. And let's go with the biggest Dino Diva Award. Which dinosaur stole the show?
Ooh.
This is a tough one. So far, in 1, we did the T-Rex. In Lost World, we did the baby T-Rex. And then for 3, believe we did the pterodactyls, but they're not called the pterodactyls.
Okay.
Actually, not pterodactyls, but the pterodactyls.
Blue, the velociraptor that Owen Grady is training, Blue. Full on, like, intelligent as all, but then is like, oh, I'm gonna turn on you because we know that this mega dinosaur has a little bit of us in it, but then I'm gonna turn around and be like, psych, I'm gonna help you out.
Yeah, I think I agree with that because Blue was the one that survived. It's the one that, carries this trilogy. It's pretty much, we said Chris Pratt almost played Han Solo. Blue is the Chewbacca to Chris Pratt's Han Solo in this franchise.
That's his little way of getting it that he couldn't be Han Solo.
The You Had One Job Award. Which human character messed up the most? I think it's the kid's mother.
I think it is the kid's mother. Yeah.
Divorcing their dad and sends them off to Costa Rica with her estranged sister. Just bad parenting all around.
Yeah.
The Sweetest Moment Award. Best heartwarming or cute moment amid all the chaos. I really like when after the 2 kids jumped from the waterfall and then they kind of, hug each other. I thought that was nice because they have that little, fight about the parents getting divorced and that.
Oh, yeah. No, I definitely think I could see that because then they have like the moment where, okay, we actually have to stick together. And I said what I said before on the train, but like I'm kind of regretting it now. And now we're going to have this sweet moment.
Yeah. I think I agree with one. That Didn't Age Well Award. What part of the movie feels awkward, weird, or outdated now? Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah, Jimmy Fallon.
It's just that, that's not going to age well. Like,
no.
Another 10 years from now, it's going to be even weirder.
Yeah.
It was such a marketing ploy for the Jimmy Fallon ride. Now that we're here, a ride that is, people are very critical about that ride. It's very short.
Yeah, it's short. I mean, it's kind of died down, the hype wise from it. But
I've been on that ride. One of the.
It's not bad.
No, it's fine for what it is. It's kind of like Star Tours, but not as good. And it's weird because it's 30 years later.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that's really the only one.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, I think the Jimmy Fallon one. Yeah.
The Smartest Move Award. Who actually made the best decisions for survival? Probably Owen Grady. I mean, the kids wanted to hang out with him more than their aunt. That's pretty funny. Yeah,
I mean, if that's a deciding factor where the kids want to hang out with your potential boyfriend and not the actual aunt, yeah.
It's so funny because their kiss after the pterodactyl fight felt a little out of nowhere, but I guess if somebody saves you from a fucking pterodactyl, how else are you gonna fucking reward them? Because
true. The
kids are kind of like confused too, but it all worked out. It made for a funny third act with the kids wanting to hang out with their potential future uncle. The Make It a Video Game Award. What scene would make the best video game level?
Oh, the dinosaur scene at the end, where it's the Indominus Rex and the T-Rex fighting.
Would you want to like control one of them? Like it's almost like a fighting game? That could be
cool. Like old school, like
type.
Yes.
Yeah, that could be really cool. That's a good one. We haven't like done a Mortal Kombat like Jurassic. Nobody's pitched that yet. That's a good one.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, everybody always goes to like a chase scene, and even I have done too, because it's when you think of a video game, like usually like you're in a car or something.
Yeah.
And then shout out to my boy Bill, the most rewatchable scene award. That moment you'd rewind again and again.
Ugh. Jimmy Buffett grabbing his margaritas.
That whole pterodactyl sequence of the babysitter, that's the most iconic scene, I think. I think that's the one everybody remembers.
Did you fully look at some of those pterodactyls, though, and how their heads were like part T-Rex and part pterodactyl? I finally noticed that, because I was like, oh, it's just like regular. No, it's like two different like animals put together. And I'm like, oh, so you could see where they were trying to create animals, and I'm like, whoa.
Dr. Wu was on some shit.
What you want? You want to give me some? No, I'm kidding.
But before we give out our final scores, I just want to we talked a little bit about Rebirth, but it seems like you are looking forward to the new movie.
I am excited. The original Jurassic Parks, I love anything Steven Spielberg. I did a whole report on him for my senior project. He just has something that is completely different from a director and producer standpoint. And I was a little skeptical when it was a different director, but again, still producing it. A little skeptical, but they did turn out good. So I'm excited to see after 10 years of how they're going to bring another set of dinosaurs and new characters into a brand new Jurassic movie.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I mean, I did all this. It was an idea from Nate at first, where he's like, we did a pod on Superman 4, and that's kind of been our joke as we do bad sequels together. And he's like, oh, you should do Lost World. And I'm like, oh, that's a great idea, because the new movie. And we were getting closer to it, and I was like, what if I just make the whole month Jurassic theme, and I just go over all the movies? And that way,
there you go.
And I'm enjoying the movies more. So I think by the time I get to Rebirth, I think I'm actually going to really enjoy it. Or it's a dumpster fire, but by the looks of the trailers, it's giving me what I want. Scarlett Johansson looks hot. Dinosaurs look cool. That's all I need. That's all any of us needs in this world.
It's fact. That's all you need. Scarlett Johansson, dinosaurs, done.
But what would you give this movie on Letterboxd?
How do they do Letterboxd ratings, actually? 5
stars, yeah. 1 through
5 stars, okay. I would give this probably like a 3.5.
Yeah.
Like, it's good, but it has again, you're going off of the originals. We're basing it off of those originals as well. Right. So how is it going to live up to the hype? So I would give it 3.5. It did really good. The acting was pretty good in it as well. It's just, I feel like some of the things just didn't work as well or click off in the instance.
Yeah, I think I'll give it 3 stars because I enjoyed it for what it was, but it also restricts itself. It was cool seeing the park open. There's other Jurassic movies I just like more, I guess. And I love that original trio with, Goldblum, Sam Neill, and Laura Dern. I don't think we've ever met as good as Chris Pratt and BDH are in this movie. Bryce Dallas Howard. And inside joke there. But
no, you good.
Speaking of attractive women, I was quiet the whole time, but Bryce Dallas Howard. Oh, that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I just couldn't get it more than 3, like maybe 3.5. We're both seem to be around that, spear. But I had it at 2 stars before I rewatched this, and so it went up a star in my rewatch of watching all these movies again. So to me that's a positive. Maybe you'll get 3.5, 4 stars on the next watch. You never know. There was some really dynamic shots in this, and I love the score. I think Colin Trevorrow actually knocked it out of the park more than I thought, and it was because at the time how much I didn't like Dominion. I think made me think harsher on this movie.
Got you.
It's the Rise of Skywalker Force Awakens effect, where I'm not a big Rise of Skywalker fan, and that kind of just muddles the trilogy for me a little bit, even though I really do enjoy the other two. Now revisiting them, and I actually like Dominion more now. I don't think that's going to happen with Rise of Skywalker, but well, you never know though. I go into, even with a movie I've seen before, I go into it with an open mind, because maybe I'll see something I didn't, and this is one of these cases.
Yeah, that's what I try to. If I'm always rewatching a movie, I'm like, oh, maybe there's, something, and I always catch something that I didn't catch the first time.
Exactly, yeah. And sometimes age, time heals in a way, I guess, when it comes to, big blockbuster movies too, because you go in with so much hype. So 9 times out of 10, you're going to be a little disappointed. Like, don't get me wrong. You're going to have movies like Joker 2 where it's like, I don't think I'm ever going to enjoy that. But yeah, but one of these like middle movies, because I think I left the theater going like, it was all right. Like, I got what I wanted, I think. And now we live in a world where it's weird talking about this 10 years later, but we're not getting movies like this anymore, or they're at least a lot of more
we really aren't
than home runs lately.
That is, I mean, you can definitely, I'm gonna say one harsh thing, even though it's not Jurassic, but that's how Marvel was. You put out so much, but it's the constant, like, it's almost the same theming almost every time. But then I haven't seen Thunderbolts yet. I need to.
I really like Thunderbolts.
And I heard that it was like the restart of the Marvel universe in a sense. Yeah. Where it was good to a point where I was like, okay, we can start liking Marvel movies again. Because I watched, what was it? The Captain America New World or whatever? The one with
New World. I just watched it on Disney Plus a couple weeks ago.
I watched it the day that it came out on a flight back home. I did not enjoy it.
It's not great. Especially both this and Thunderbolts seem to be leading into Doomsday, but they both underperformed. Damn, Julia, is this the start to our movie podcast? We have so many different topics we want to talk about, but I gotta wrap this up. Let me know, Julia. This was a great time. You are welcome to come back whenever you want.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I had a lot of fun.
This is really fun. You gave me a lot of theme park insight I didn't know, so that was a really fun section. And let us know what you guys want to see Julia review next, because she'll definitely be back. And maybe I'm thinking of doing a big video for Rebirth. Maybe it's like all of my guests, come on and we all talk about it or something. So maybe we'll have a big discussion about it.
That would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, that would be chaotic, but it would be something. But thank you so much again. Is there anything you want to plug? I always ask at the end.
No, I mean, I have Instagram, so
I was about to say your Insta's public, right?
Yeah, my Instagram is public. I'll give it to Josh so he can put it up somewhere on the screen. So make him edit more.
more editing for me. We love it. It's just like the old days. But
I go to the theme parks a lot, so I tend to post a lot of stuff there. Since I do work at Universal, Halloween Horror Nights is coming around the corner. Yeah. So if you're looking for Halloween Horror Nights, what is it? Fallout and Jason Universe have just been released. That's all I know, because they don't tell us anything till it is released.
We might have you on a different channel to discuss that. We'll
absolutely.
We'll see what happens there. But thank you once again, Julia. This has been Jurassic June once again, covering Jurassic World, and I will see you all in the next podcast. I still don't have an outro.